The storm had been raging for 3 days when Dr. Elias Munro first heard the knock, a faint, desperate sound buried beneath the howl of the polar wind, like fingers tapping from another world. The research station, Outpost Echo 9, stood alone in the frozen wasteland of Antarctica, a steel skeleton surrounded by endless white death, its walls humming with power generators fighting the cold that clawed at every seam. Elias had grown accustomed to isolation, to silence, to the soft beeping of machines and the whisper of frost creeping across windows like ghostly veins. But the knock was different. It carried urgency. Emotion. Fear. He turned from his microscope, heart tightening, telling himself it had to be debris striking the wall or ice shifting under pressure, yet the sound came again, clearer this time, followed by something even more impossible, a voice. "Human, please. I'm freezing, let me in. I beg you." The words were broken, trembling, thick with pain, spoken in heavily accented English that trembled like a signal struggling through static. Elias froze. No rescue teams were scheduled. No expeditions should have been anywhere near Echo 9 in this weather. Outside was a death sentence. He approached the reinforced viewing window and wiped away a layer of frost, peering into the swirling storm. At first, he saw nothing, only a violent dance of snow and darkness, until a silhouette staggered into view, barely visible, swaying as if on the brink of collapse. It was a woman. At least, she appeared to be. Tall, slender, wrapped in what looked like torn, unfamiliar fabric that clung unnaturally to her body. Her skin shimmered faintly beneath the storm lights, not pale, not dark, but faintly luminous, like moonlight trapped in flesh. Elias's breath hitched. His mind screamed at him to stay locked in, to follow protocol, to remember the rules of isolation. But then the woman stumbled closer, pressing her trembling hand against the glass, and he saw her eyes, large, glowing with a soft, alien hue that flickered like dying stars. "I'm freezing, human," she whispered through the intercom channel, though Elias hadn't activated it. "Let me in. I will reward you. I promise." The security system screamed warnings as Elias's hands hovered over the control panel. Unknown life form. Potential contamination. Protocol demanded quarantine or refusal. But the woman collapsed to her knees outside, snow already piling on her shoulders, her breath visible in ragged gasps, her body shaking uncontrollably. Elias felt something crack inside him. Science warred with instinct. Fear battled compassion. Humanity won. He unlocked the outer chamber. The heavy door groaned open, sucking in a blast of frozen wind and snow. The woman crawled inside, collapsing just beyond the threshold, her entire body trembling as frost glittered along her hair like silver needles. Elias sealed the door behind her, rushing forward, grabbing thermal blankets, wrapping them around her fragile form. Her skin was shockingly cold, far colder than any human hypothermia case he had ever seen. Her breathing was shallow. Erratic. He lifted her carefully, carrying her toward the medical bay, noticing strange patterns etched faintly across her skin, geometric lines that pulsed dimly as if alive. When he laid her on the examination bed, her eyes fluttered open again, locking onto his with an intensity that felt like gravity itself. "You saved me," she murmured weakly. "You chose mercy, over fear," Elias swallowed. "Who are you?" he asked, though part of him already knew the answer would shatter everything. She hesitated, then whispered the truth like a confession, "My name is Arca. I am not from your world." Silence swallowed the room. Machines hummed. Outside, the storm roared like a furious god. Elias stared at her, his scientific mind screaming for logic, for denial, yet every instinct told him he was witnessing something historic, impossible, and dangerous. "Your people," Arca continued, voice trembling, "call yourselves the masters of Earth, but you do not yet know what you are capable of. I came here to observe, to learn, but my ship was destroyed. I was left to die in your frozen wasteland." Her fingers tightened weakly around his sleeve. I kept walking because I remembered what your kind claims to be: compassionate, brave, kind. A bitter, sad smile touched her lips. You proved it true. Elias exhaled slowly, struggling to process the magnitude of her words. And the reward? He asked quietly, half joking to mask his terror. Arka's gaze sharpened. If you protect me, she said softly, if you keep me hidden from those who would dissect or enslave me, I will give humanity something no species has ever possessed. Her voice dropped to a whisper that felt like destiny pressing against his ear. A future among the stars. At that moment, alarms suddenly blared across the station, external sensors detecting an unidentified object entering Earth's upper atmosphere. Elias turned sharply toward the monitors as satellite imagery flickered to life, showing a burning shape tearing through the sky above Antarctica. Arka squeezed his hand weakly, fear flooding her alien eyes. They found me, she whispered. And they are not merciful. Elias stared at the screen, then back at the alien woman trembling in his care, realizing his quiet, isolated life had just ended, and that humanity's fate might now rest in a single, dangerous promise made to a freezing stranger at his door.